What's up, guys? We are back with Week 12 NFL Sunday action. Let's dive in and break down all of these games and find the value out there in an action-packed Sunday. If you want to win all of your bets this weekend, hit that like button. It's good luck and show support for the channel and all the hard work we are putting in every single day. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on our daily content. You can now also sign up for a channel membership by clicking the little join button right below the video. Members get exclusive early access to all NFL and college football videos and get their names up on screen just like right now. I really appreciate the support from all of you. Seeing that badge next to your comments keeps me fired up and motivated to make this channel even bigger and better. Our videos are brought to you by StumpTheSpread.com. We have a team of experienced cappers over there for every major sport, currently covering NFL, college football, NBA, NCAA basketball, NHL, and the UFC. This is one of the best times of the year to sign up with our massive Black Friday sale going on right now. You can get a full week of premium picks for only $19 or a full month for only $69. Nice. But a crazy amount of work into our premium content and getting it at such a bargain here in the heart of the best time of the sports season with NFL, college football, college basketball, and the NBA going on is a huge win for everyone. There's a link in the description of the video, or you can always just visit StumpTheSpread.com. Also, you want to be going over there to check our daily free picks, and you want to join our free email list to get the occasional free or premium pick straight to your inbox. If you're interested in peer-to-peer sports betting where you can make your own favorite bets against real people and pay 1% juice, click the link in the description to check out Bet Openly, the best peer-to-peer betting site on the web. Comment below with any bets you're looking at today and we will give you our best advice on all of them. We are committed to responding to every single comment every day, so let us know anything you want to say about my picks, these videos, or anything you see here. As always, our favorite picks will be in the pinned comment down below. Now let's get into our first game of the day. We've got the Minnesota Vikings going on the road to take on the Chicago Bears. The Vikings come into this game 8-2 on the season, fresh off of a nice win there against the Titans. Obviously, it was just the Titans, so we're not going to freak out too much, but currently in second place there in the NFC North, trailing only the Detroit Lions. In that win, they had at Tennessee, guys. It was a 23-13 win, so not necessarily a massive blowout or anything like that, but they did get the job done. Sam Darnold looked a bit better. He completed 20 of 32 passes, a couple passing touchdowns. He was sacked twice, 246 yards overall, so not necessarily a banner day, but, you know, it's against a Titans defense that is at least decent. It's kind of hard to tell given their strength of schedule and how terrible their offense is, but I would say their defense is at least, you know, slightly above average, so we'll see what they can do. I know the metrics say they're amazing, guys, but I don't buy completely into all those metrics, so we'll see what the Vikings can do this week going up against a Bears defense that, you know, is also pretty good. But we saw Aaron Jones, Cam Akers, both really struggled there in the running game. Nothing too amazing coming from them on the ground. Darnold actually ran for a touchdown and did some positive things there running the ball. Not something you can bank on a weekly basis, but they'll definitely take it. Another nice day there for Justin Jefferson. He caught 6 of 8 passes for 81 yards. No touchdowns. I would say he's probably got to be getting a little bit antsy to get into the end zone. So if you're looking for a player prop on a guy to score a touchdown, you might want to look at him, although it's a bit of a tough matchup going up against the Chicago Bears secondary. So that could go either way, in my opinion. On defense, the Vikings looked very, very good again. They sacked Will Levis 5 times. They had an interception. They didn't recover any fumbles or anything like that, so only the 1 turnover in the game, but a very nice day out there. They completely shut down the Tennessee running attack. They did struggle a little bit in the passing game. Like, they did give up that 198-yard pass. So that's basically, you know, the one big negative. But giving up 295 passing yards to Will Levis isn't necessarily the best look. So we'll see what they can do here going on, you know, the road to take on the Bears. In terms of their injury report, the Vikings are looking very, very healthy there on offense. It's a great sign. A fully healthy offensive line there is really, really nice. And having, you know, your wide receiver group healthy this time of the year is key. On defense, they're also looking pretty healthy. They, like everyone else, have had some guys, you know, they're going to be missing here for the season or, you know, are on the IR for now, but we're pretty happy with the health overall of this Vikings team as they go on the road to take on the Chicago Bears, who are 4-6 on the season. They've actually lost 4 in a row. They lost by 1 point last time out, guys, losing to the Packers 20-19, so that couldn't feel great. We have liked what we've seen from Caleb Williams here. I mean, he's playing much better since the change of offensive coordinator, so that's nice. Last week, 23 of 31, 231 yards, no touchdowns, but also no interceptions. He was only sacked 3 times, which is actually a big improvement for Caleb Williams. He's a little bit, you know, like most young quarterbacks, likely to hold on to the ball a little bit longer than he should or be a little bit slow to get it out of his hands. So that's something to watch in this game. A Vikings team that definitely loves to bring the pressure. We saw Swift and Caleb Williams both do a great job running the ball. Caleb Williams had 70 rushing yards in the game. DeAndre Swift, 14 carries for 71 yards himself and that rushing touchdown. No big receiving days out there. We definitely hope to see more from DJ Moore than we're getting this season, but He did catch all 7 of his targets last week, so that's for sure a positive. We also saw the Bears did not turn over the ball in the game. On defense, they were pretty solid, giving up only 20 points. Obviously that wasn't enough to get the win, but still got to give them some credit here. I mean, they had generated an interception, only gave up 261 passing yards. They held Josh Jacobs to 76 yards on 18 carries, which is not terrible. Just not generating any more than that one turnover wasn't enough to get them over the top in this game. In terms of the health here of the Bears, we've got a lot of significant question marks, guys. DeAndre Swift on there, Keenan Allen on there. Ryan Bates going to be out for this game, so it's not going to be a full-strength Bears offensive line, which is definitely a concern. Swift with a groin issue. He's questionable for this game. He was a full practice participant there on Friday. I think it's very likely that he plays in this one. My question and my concern would be maybe he won't be, playing at full strength. Keenan Allen, he is, rolled his ankle there in practice on Friday. He's going to be questionable for this one. They're hopeful he'll be able to suit up, but guys, a wide receiver on a bum ankle, not going to be in for a big game. So definitely worried about Keenan Allen here. On defense, guys, the Bears are relatively healthy. They're going to be missing Elijah Hicks there at safety, which is a big guy to have out there. This has been one of the better secondaries. We'll see what they can do. I mean, the Vikings can run the ball. They can pass the ball. So going to need to be a good day there from the Bears defense. No doubt about that. Looking at the numbers for this game, we see the Bears are getting 3.5 points. We've got an over-under of 39.5. Minnesota is 7-3 against the spread this season. They are 7-3 to the under. Chicago 5-4-1 against the spread. They are 7-3 to the under as well. Sam Darnold, guys, he's been pretty bad since week 5. 8 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. The Bears defense has been very good, but they are missing a key guy there in Elijah Hicks. How will Caleb Williams handle the pressure that the Vikings always bring? The pros like the Bears a good amount in this spot, and I can't argue with them too much here, but I'm worried about the overall health there of Chicago. So in terms of the side, I might be slightly leaning towards the Vikings, but I don't really care about the side too much in this game. We've got 12 to 15 mile per hour winds in this one. We've got a significant chance of rain. This is a great spot with these two teams on the field to take the under in this game. I love under 39.5. Both teams showing big trends towards the under this season. I'm going to be putting under 39.5 in the pinned comment for this video. Absolutely. Next on the docket, guys, we have the Detroit Lions. They're going on the road to take on the Indianapolis Colts. The Lions come into this game 9-1 on the season. They're officially the favorites to, favorites for the Super Bowl this season. So we'll see how that goes down the stretch. They're coming off of that massive blowout win there against the Jaguars. So that has to feel pretty good. A 52-6 win, a massive, massive bounce back there for Goff, who is coming off of a just nightmare game against the Texans that it felt like it was a miracle Detroit ended up winning. But Goff bounced back in a huge way. 412 passing yards, completed 24 of 29 passes. Yeah, just a monster out there. I sacked 0 times. You're getting sacked 0 times. You're throwing 4 touchdown passes and no interceptions. That can kind of make up a little bit for that just horrendous game he had against the Texans. That was embarrassing, guys. He was I don't know what was going on, but that was a mess. The running game for Detroit was also on point. Montgomery and Gibbs combining for well over 130 yards there, over 140 yards actually on 26 total carries and 3 rushing touchdowns. Detroit was just firing on all cylinders in this game. Put up 52 points all by themselves. Amon-Ra St. Brown had a huge breakout game, a couple of touchdowns for him. He caught all 11 of his targets for 161 yards. We also saw Jameson Williams, 124 receiving yards for him. He caught 4 out of 6 targets. This was just an easy game, pitch and catch kind of game there for the Detroit offense. They were absolutely cruising. They didn't turn the ball over, and the defense was killing it as well, guys, giving up only 6 points, dominating Mac Jones there. He's not having a great time as, coming in as the backup option for the Jaguars. The Jaguars couldn't get anything going in the running game. Like, this Detroit defense is absolutely great, guys. I mean, they're 5th in the NFL, giving up 17.7 points per game. This is one of the most physical units out there on both sides of the ball. Like, the Lions can win games in the trenches, and they very often do. So, loved what we saw from the Lions last week. A nice bounce back for them after a bad game, albeit a win against the Texans. So, we'll see if they can back that up in this one. On offense, they're looking very, very healthy for this game. That's a great sign. This offense obviously coming off of a great game. You don't want to see anybody getting injured in a blowout. On defense, they are going to be missing Terrion Arnold. That's not great, guys. He's dealing with a groin issue, I believe it was, and that's going to keep him sidelined for this game. So, yeah, I don't know if that's the biggest deal against the Colts, but we'll have to keep an eye on that. I don't think. I mean, it's obviously not ideal if you have anybody sitting out. So, we'll see what the Lions can do here on the road, taking on the Colts, who are 5-6 on the season. They come into this game fresh off a 28-27 nail-biter of a win there at the New York Jets. They'll definitely take it. Anthony Richardson did a lot of positive things in that game. 2 rushing touchdowns, 1 passing touchdown, completed 20 of 30 passes, was not intercepted. He did fumble the ball away once. That is a big deal. He's a guy that's going to want to be able to take off and run, and you have to have better ball security if you're going to be doing that. So, definitely plenty of reason for concern there about Anthony Richardson. Overall, it was a pretty good day for the offense, putting up 28 points for the Colts. Not bad. Jonathan Taylor struggled a little bit. 24 carries, only 57 yards. Anthony Richardson was more efficient running the ball, but also not great. So the Colts running game didn't really get going that well against the Jets. So that's a concern in this one for sure. In terms of their defense, giving up 27 points against the New York Jets. That's not a great look, guys. 0 interceptions against Rodgers. They did sack him 3 times. They also struggled a little bit against the Jets' running attack. No turnovers for the Colts at all in that game. And this hasn't been a great Colts defense this season, guys. I mean, they're giving up 22.7 points per game. That's 19th in the NFL. They gave up 30 against the Bills. That's not horrible. Gave up 21 against the Vikings the week before that. That's not horrible. But this is not a dominant Colts defense by any stretch of the imagination. And looking at the injury report here, guys, we do see Bernard Iranian. He's going to be out for this game there on the offensive line. So the Colts offensive line not going to be at full strength for this one. On defense, they are looking very, very healthy. So that's a positive. But like we were just saying, guys, even when they're healthy, this defense, really not a defense that I'm afraid of. So we'll see what they can do in this one, guys. Looking at the numbers, the Colts are getting 7.5. We've got an over-under of 50.5. I do have a premium pick on this one over at Stump the Spread. Don't hate me, guys. I had to put this one over there. In terms of the over-under, that's what we're going to be concentrating on here. We've got the Colts, they're 6-5 to the under the season. Detroit's actually a 50-50 over-under team, so not a lot to be gleaned from that. But looking at what these two offenses have been able to do recently, I'm not super duper high on the Colts offense, but they're not terrible. I think Anthony Richardson under center is definitely the better option. I'm going to be taking over 50.5 in this game. Next on the list here, guys, we are looking at an AFC East showdown. We've got the New England Patriots going on the road to take on the Miami Dolphins. The Patriots come into this game fresh off of a tough 28-22 loss there against the Rams. So, yeah, not quite getting the job done there. And at only 3-8 on the season, they're not having an amazing year, but they've got to be pretty happy with what they're seeing from young Drake May. He's done some very good things this season against the Rams. 2 touchdown passes, 1 interception. He was sacked 3 times, but did pass for 282 yards and was efficient, guys. He completed 29 of 39 passes. So, very good stuff there. This kid seems to be developing. I think the Patriots might have their quarterback of the future here. And the running game, it wasn't really taking too much pressure off of him, guys. I mean, Ramondre Stevenson, 20 carries, 73 yards, no rushing touchdowns out there. So not an amazing day from him. We did see Kendrick Bourne have a nice day. He caught all 5 of his targets there for 70 yards and a passing touchdown. So that has to feel pretty good. Drake May did fumble it away once. That's not great. 2 turnovers in a game where you end up losing by 6 points. You kind of have to feel like those turnovers were a big part of the reason you came up short. So we'll see if the offense for New England can bounce back a little bit in this game. They haven't been great offensively this season, only putting up an average of 16.5 points per game. That's 31st in the NFL this season. So they might have their work cut out for them as they go on the road here to take on the Miami Dolphins, who are 4-6 on the season. A team that really is going to have to play well here in the back half of the year if they want to make a push at a playoff spot. But they're definitely planning on trying, and that was evidenced by their blowout 34-19 win last week against the Raiders. We loved what we saw from Tua. He passed for 3 touchdowns, 288 yards, completed 28 of 36 passes. So very, very good stuff there. He was sacked a couple times, but he managed to not get severely concussed in either one of those sacks. So great signs there for Tua. We saw A-Chain, another huge game from him, 17 yards, 73 carries, and a touchdown. He was also active there in the passing game, catching all 4 of his targets for 32 yards. So very good stuff from A-Chain, an exciting weapon there for the Dolphins. Jonnu Smith actually had a big game. He caught 6 of 8 targets for 101 yards and 2 touchdowns. Tyreek Hill emerged a little bit. He caught 7 of 8 targets as well. Only 61 yards for him and a single touchdown, but the guy is the main focus of every defense that they face. So he's not going to be putting up crazy numbers all the time. That just isn't the way this is going to go this season and in general. Waddle continues to struggle. I do think there's probably a breakout game coming for him at some point, but we'll see when that happens, guys. But we loved what we saw from the Miami offense last week, and what we saw from the defense was also pretty good, giving up 2 passing touchdowns and 282 yards to Gardner Minshew. Maybe not amazing, but they did have an interception and 3 sacks. They completely shut down the running game there of the Raiders, so that was nice. Only the 1 turnover, not an amazing turnover effort necessarily, but we did like overall what we saw from the Miami defense. And over the course of the season, guys, they've been, I'm not going to say they've been horrible or anything like that. They're 15th in the National Football League, allowing 22.1 points per game. Most of their good performances have come against bad teams. in terms of their defense, but that's going to be the case for every team out there. So we'll see what they can do here against the Patriots in terms of their health for this game, guys. Miami is maybe slightly banged up. I mean, they've got one offensive lineman questionable, guys. We'll see if Armstead plays in this game. He's dealing with a knee issue, so that can be very, very tricky, especially for those big guys. We're not going to find out about that until much closer to game time. In terms of their defense, we do see Kendall Fuller's going to be out there missing. A cornerback isn't ideal, but yeah, a concussion, what are you going to do? He's going to be out for this game. At least it's against a team that's not the greatest at moving the ball through the air. So looking at the numbers for this one, guys, we see the Dolphins are 7-point favorites playing at home. We've got an over under of 46.5. New England 4-6-1 against the spread this season. They are 6-5 to the over. Miami 4-6 against the spread. They are 6-4 to the under. The Patriots aren't really a team that quits, but Dolphins have been figuring things out here lately, winning their last couple of weeks. That convincing win against the Raiders last week looked pretty nice. The Patriots offensive line is terrible at pass blocking. Tua is 19-11 against the spread at home in his career, and Miami has covered 8 straight games against New England. That's pretty nuts. And Tua, guys, he's 11-4 against the spread as a favorite of 6 or more. We're taking Miami at home -7 in this one, and I'm feeling pretty good about it, guys. This is not going to be the Patriots kind of environment for this game. They usually struggle historically when they go down there to Miami. Weird things can happen. There's all kinds of weird stuff that would seemingly happen in Tom Brady games back in the day in Miami. I know this isn't the same team, but some of the same things can still hold true. And really, guys, I just like this Dolphins offense. The direction they're headed seems very, very positive. So give me the Dolphins here at -7. In terms of that over-under of 46.5, I'm probably going to be leaning just a hair towards the under, but not an over-under spot that I really like. Next up, guys, we have a very interesting game. We've got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers going on the road to take on the New York Giants. A lot of variables going on in this game. First up, both teams are coming off of their bye week. Tampa Bay, they've lost 4 in a row. Pretty disappointing stuff for the Buccaneers this season. They've dealt with a ton of injuries, losing last week against the 49ers 23-20. That was a tough one for Tampa Bay fans, guys. We didn't hate what we saw from Baker Mayfield, although, I mean, he wasn't able to, take too much of the burden on his shoulders. They were really focused on running the ball in this game. He only had 116 passing yards, 1 touchdown, sacked twice, but 0 interceptions. So that's a nice look. He wasn't able to break loose for any of those Baker Mayfield runs. He didn't turn the ball over, although he did have a couple fumbles, so something to keep an eye on. All of those fumbles were recovered by the Buccaneers. So something positive in terms of that, I suppose. Bucky Irving had a big game running the ball. Rashad White tried to run the ball but didn't have as much success. But yeah, a total of 110 yards on the ground in 1 rushing touchdown. I think Tampa Bay is going to be wanting to try to run the ball in this game. Definitely, especially given, some weather concerns for this one. In terms of the wide receiver group, they've dealt with so many injuries. We did see Cade Otton try and, make up for some stuff. But yeah, 35 yards on 5 receptions. He caught 5 of 8 passes. Just a rough look out there for Tampa Bay. They have not been at full strength there. When Baker has all of his weapons around him, this team is elite. But when he doesn't, who's he supposed to be throwing the ball to right now? It's getting a bit dark out there for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. On defense, giving up 23 points against the 49ers isn't terrible, but I'm not going to write home about that. They did a good job of stopping the Christian McCaffrey running attack. So that's something positive, I suppose. Juwan Jennings did have a big day there catching the ball. We did see, they generated 1 turnover in this game, and Tampa Bay on defense over the course of the season, guys, has not been very good. So honestly, that was kind of a nice, uptick for them. Allowing 26.6 points per game, though, that is going to be a bit tough. So we'll see if they can bounce back here, going on the road to take on the New York Giants, who come into this game only 2-8 on the season. They have had quite the week, guys. They ended up benching Daniel Jones. Looks like he's going to be released, and we are going to be seeing Tommy DeVito under center. And that's, you lose to the Panthers, you have a bye week. Some crazy changes are probably going to happen because, you cannot be losing games like that, guys. Tommy DeVito now under center. Going to be interesting to see what he can do. I mean, obviously we've seen some magic from him. We've also seen some bad stuff from him in that loss against the Panthers. Obviously, Daniel Jones not really going to be discussed here. He was terrible once again. The running game did get going. Tyrone Tracy Jr. looked pretty good, and they're going to need to be running the ball here to take the ball out of Tommy DeVito's hands a little bit. I don't think we want to see him throwing the ball 40 times if you're a Giants fan. And yeah, Neighbors had a kind of a pedestrian day. Only caught 6 of 10 targets last week. What is his connection with DeVito going to be like? We'll have to wait and see, guys. A lot of things up in the air for what we're going to actually get here from the Giants. So Yeah, I'm gonna say I'm a little bit concerned in terms of their defense this year. They have not been very good either. The game was in Munich, so a lot of weird variables. But over the course of the season, they're 16th in the NFL, giving up 22.2 points per game. So yeah, not in love with the Giants' defense either. Looking at the injury report, we see Neighbors is on the injury report. They're questionable. He's dealing with a groin issue. Will he play in this game or not? It seems like it's going to be very close to a game time decision. In terms of their defense, they might be missing Micah McFadden here. He is also listed as questionable with a heel issue, so we'll see. Might not even be the full strength Giants offense or defense. In terms of the Tampa Bay injury report, Mike Evans being on there is obviously a big deal. Dealing with that hamstring issue, I don't know, guys. Hamstring things for wide receivers make me very, very nervous. And on defense, guys, they're going to be a little bit banged up out there in the secondary. So we'll see how that goes. Looking at the numbers for this game, we see the Giants getting 6 points playing at home. We've got an over-under of 41. Tampa Bay is 6-4 against the spread. They are 7-3 to the over. The Giants are 3-7 against the spread. They are 7-3 to the under. Guys, with both teams coming off their bye week, we've seen Mike Evans practice a little bit here. I'm going to be siding with the Buccaneers -6. I'm not sure if this is going to end up in the pinned comment. We do have some weather concerns for this game. So this ends up being just like some sort of horrible, horrible weather game. I mean, we're going to have some wind going on, 15-mile-per-hour winds. That does make me worried about the Tampa Bay, passing attack. But Baker's been doing crazy stuff his whole career. I do think we want to be on Tampa Bay here just a little bit. And we're going to be waiting for more clarity on the weather before we decide whether or not that's going in the pinned comment. In terms of the over-under, we've got wildly varying trends here. Tampa Bay is a big over team. The Giants are a big under team, and we just really have to know about that weather. Next up, guys, we've got the Dallas Cowboys. They're going on the road to take on the Washington Commanders. The Cowboys come into this game having a nightmare season. They've lost, 5 in a row now. They just got blown out 34-10 against the Texans. Things are looking very, very bleak. I mean, yeah, Cooper Rush not having a great time out there last week. He did pass for 354 yards, but it took him 55 passing attempts to get to that. So picked off once, 1 touchdown, sacked 5 times, struggling to get the ball out of his hands. The running game didn't get a ton of work, and it was very bad in the work that it did get. CeeDee Lamb did catch 8 of 12 targets for 93 yards. He's got to be feeling like he's in a nightmare right now. Like, this has to be the exact opposite of how everybody in the Dallas organization wanted this season to go. They turned the ball over twice in that loss, and they did very, very little to stop Houston there, guys. They did have 1 interception against C.J. Stroud. It wasn't his best game, but they couldn't stop Mixon. He had 3 rushing touchdowns on 20 carries. They didn't have great answers for Nico Collins, who was coming back his first game, back out there. And yeah, just rough stuff for Dallas. I mean, over the course of the season, this defense has not been very good at all, giving up 29.3 points per game, one of the worst numbers in the NFL. In terms of their health for this one, they're very banged up. Ferguson going to be out, so they're going to be missing their starting tight end. Zach Martin going to be confirmed out there on the offensive line. Tyler Smith questionable in the offensive line, so we could see Cooper Rush running for his life a little bit in this one. And on defense, things don't look that much better. Trayvon Diggs is going to be out there, so the secondary won't be at full strength, and Nick Virgil is listed as questionable there in the linebacker group. So very unlikely to be the full-strength Cowboys here, as they might as well just start thinking about tanking out the rest of this season. We'll see what they can do going on the road here to take on an NFC East opponent in the Washington Commanders, who are 7-4 on the year, but they're coming off back-to-back losses, guys. They lost 28-27 in a heartbreaker there against the Steelers, and then last week they lost against the Eagles 26-18. That was at Philadelphia, so they got to be very happy to get back home for this game in that tough loss against the Eagles, guys. We saw Jaden Daniels continue to struggle a little bit. 1 touchdown, 1 interception, only 119 passing yards. He completed 22 of 32 passes, so those insane numbers he was putting up early in the season seemed like they were kind of starting to level out a little bit. Brian Robinson Jr., 63 yards on 16 carries isn't crazy, and yeah, we also saw Daniels struggle to get loose running the ball as well. So problems starting to crop up here for Washington, but the Eagles not the easiest team to face by any stretch. We saw Austin Eckler and Zach Ertz both do some positive things there catching the ball, so that's a nice little addition here, but definitely room for improvement here for Washington. On defense, guys, they really didn't have a lot of good answers there for Saquon Barkley. Not that anybody has this season, but giving up 146 rushing yards on 26 carries and 2 rushing touchdowns to him, not great. They did hold Jalen Hurts in check mostly, but they didn't really have their full increment of wide receivers for that entire game. They didn't force any turnovers, so that's not great. And yeah, this Washington defense over the course of the year has been pedestrian. I would say middle of the pack. They haven't been terrible. I'm not going to say they've been awful. We do see Lattimore probably going to be sitting out for this one again, so that trade's looking kind of crappy. But yeah, they're giving up 22.1 points per game in terms of their injury report. offense is fully healthy. That's a big deal. Marshall Lattimore, really the only starter on the injury list here on defense as well. So a pretty healthy Washington team coming into this one. And maybe that's part of the reason the odds makers have them at minus 10.5. We've got an over-under of 44.5. Dallas is only 2-8 against the spread this year. They are 6-4 to the over. Washington 7-3-1 against the spread. They are 7-4 to the over. So yeah, definitely some trends here pointing towards the over, and I don't hate the over in this game at all. The problem for me is I don't know how many points we're going to really see the Cowboys score. There are no injury concerns really for this game, so definitely a shade towards over 44.5 in this game. Jaden Daniels hasn't looked great for like 4 weeks now. This could be a bounce back spot, though, against a bad opponent. I'm going to be siding towards the over, like I was saying, and towards the Commanders at minus 10.5. This is a big chance for them to take advantage of a bad opponent. They are 7-3-1 against the spread this year, so that's not bad. And I do think they still have some magic left. So go ahead and give me Jaden Daniels, and the Commanders have a big game in this one. Give me that over, and give me the Commanders minus 10.5. Moving right along here, guys, we're looking at the Kansas City Chiefs. They're going on the road to take on the Carolina Panthers. The Chiefs come into this game fresh off of that 30-21 loss there at the Bills. So their first loss of the season, it was pretty much bound to happen at some point. And yeah, they just couldn't quite. They had their chances in that game, don't get me wrong, but they weren't able to make it happen there in the end. We did see, some mistakes there from Mahomes, a couple interceptions, sacked twice, only 196 yards to the air. And this really hasn't been his best season across the board. Like, it's been overlooked because the team's been winning, but he hasn't been doing great. Kareem Hunt, 14 carries, 60 yards there. Not a great day on the ground for the Chiefs either, and nobody having a huge day there, catching the ball. Kelsey only caught 2 of 4 targets, like a rough day there for the Chiefs, who seemed like they were just kind of outplayed and out-game planned there by the Bills. On defense, the Chiefs had very few answers there. I mean, yeah, Josh Allen did get picked off once, but they couldn't stop him from running the ball very successfully. 12 carries for 55 yards for him. Other than that, they did, kind of bottle up the Bills' rushing attack. The Chiefs are a pretty good team against the run, but yeah, I don't know, guys. Didn't look great against the pass there against the Bills. So we'll see what they can do here against the Panthers. I mean, the Chiefs' defense this season, giving up 19.1 points per game. They've been a very good defensive team. There's no doubt about that. In terms of their injury report here, we do see they're healthy on offense. That's a good sign. Definitely no doubt about that. We do see, we've had some injury concerns about the Chiefs for this one, but it looks like those have pretty much all been cleared up, guys. They're going to be basically a fully healthy team for this game, which is a big step in the right direction. We'll see what they can do going up against the Panthers, who are, on a 2-game winning streak coming off of their bye week here. They got the 20-17 win there over the Giants in Munich. So, I mean, it was in Munich. These international games can be a little bit weird, but we did like what we saw there from Bryce Young. Some positive developments. Only 15 of 25. That's not great, but no interceptions. Only sacked once. He did have that passing touchdown. He ran the ball twice for 30 yards, so that was good. And Chuba Hubbard had a massive game. This is a great pass blocking team, guys. 28 carries, 153 yards, and a rushing touchdown for him. We also see Carolina's going to be getting healthy there at wide receiver. Thielen's coming back for this game. He's going to be good to go after missing, most of the season. This has been a good, good little stretch, some positive developments here for the Panthers. In terms of their defense, they did a decent job against the pass, not so much against the run, though, so there are definitely some concerns there. In terms of their injury report, guys, obviously having Thielen back is a big deal, and other than that, this offense looks pretty healthy. We do see some guys banged up there on defense, but this has not been a very good defense, generally speaking. But yeah, Ray, Wonham, Clowney, all questionable for this game. Not a lot of clarity on whether or not they're going to be available, but I don't think we're going to see them all sit out. That would be pretty unfortunate and pretty unlucky there. In terms of the weather for this game, guys, it's not necessarily looking, terrible at all. We've got a little bit of wind, pretty mild temperatures, should be pretty standard stuff. Looking at the numbers, the Panthers are getting 11 points in this game. We've got an over-under of 43. Kansas City, 5-5 against the spread, 5-5 to the over-under. Carolina, 3-7 against the spread. They're actually 7-3 to the over this year. Guys, double-digit favorites are 5-0 against the spread this season. That a trend that we can trust to continue, really. With Mahomes, he's only 39% against the spread as a favorite of 10 or more, and he's 0-3-1 against the spread as a road favorite of 10 plus. This is a good number here to beat on the Panthers. They're really bad, don't get me wrong. They're coming off back-to-back wins, but those wins against the Saints and the Giants don't get me going too much. But Adam Thielen coming back, I think, is very helpful. The Panthers are a great run-blocking team, so I think they'll be able to run the ball a little bit even here against the Chiefs that are a pretty good defense. In a game, there's such a low total. It feels like the play here. It just has to be to take the big underdog. Guys, give me the Panthers here at plus 11. There's a good chance this ends up in the pinned comment. I think the Chiefs win this game 99.9% of the time, but I think the Panthers here keep it competitive. The Chiefs, they play with their food. Mahomes plays with his food. This is going to be a close game. And in terms of that over under 43, I don't really have a big lean on that one. I would probably side slightly towards the under, but I don't care about the over under. Give me the Panthers here and the points. Next on the docket, guys, we've got the Tennessee Titans. They're going on the road to take on the Houston Texans in an AFC South showdown. The Titans are only 2-8 on the season, having a terrible, terrible time. They just lost 23-13 against the Vikings. I mean, it's the Vikings. They've been a decent team this season, but yeah, Will Levis continues to flounder. 1 touchdown, 1 interception, only completed 17 of 31 passes. If it wasn't for that 198-yard pass, guys, this would look like a really bad day from him statistically. Sacked 5 times. Like, the dude can't get rid of the ball. The Titans only put up 13 points in the game. They couldn't run the ball in that one. Like, this is a bad, bad offense. No doubt about that, guys. So we'll see what the defense can do for them. I mean, last week they couldn't do anything good against Darnold. They slowed down the run there, but I wouldn't say they necessarily completely stopped it. But yeah, they put the pressure on Darnold. He kind of delivered there. So the Titans end up taking a 10-point loss, and this season just continues to get worse and worse for them. In terms of the injury report, they're going to be missing at least 1 offensive lineman, which makes me think that Levis is going to get sacked even more. On defense, they've got 1 guy in the secondary that might be out, but other than that, they're relatively healthy, and we've seen some positive things here from the Titans defense, but I think they maybe are slightly overrated. Just I can't get behind too many positive things here for Tennessee as they go on the road to take on the Houston Texans, who are 7-4 on the year. They come into this one fresh off of that 34-10 blowout win there at the Dallas Cowboys. So very, very good stuff from Houston in that one. We were on Houston, so thank you, Texans, for making that one happen. We saw Nico Collins come back. That was a big deal. CJ Stroud looked a little shaky in the game, to be honest. I mean, he got picked off once. 23 of 34 for 257 yards isn't amazing, but the Joe Mixon experience, this dude is killing it. 3 rushing touchdowns, 20 carries, 109 yards last week against Dallas. I'm expecting him to have another big game here. No reason to think that's going to change. The dude is a monster. Nico Collins looked just fine coming off the injury, and Tank Dell's also, looking pretty good. So we are very excited about what we're expecting to see here from the Houston Texans offense. On defense, they were dominant, albeit against a terrible Dallas team last week. Over the course of the season, they're 11th in the NFL, giving up 21.5 points per game. So not necessarily a dominant number, but they've done some positive things on defense, no doubt about it. In terms of their injury report right now, guys, we don't hate what we're seeing from the Texans. They're fully healthy there on offense. It's a big step in the right direction. Getting Nico Collins back is huge. They could be missing 1 defensive lineman, but other than that, this is a very healthy Houston team. And guys, Houston's minus 7.5 in this one. We've got an over-under of 40.5. Tennessee's only 1-9 against the spread this year. That's an NFL worst number. Houston 5-1 against the spread. They're 8-3 to the under, which is an NFL best to the under. Do I want to take under 40.5 in this game? I don't know about that, but I definitely want to take the Texans here at minus 7.5. Nico Collins being back is great. The running game is going to be even more opened up there for Joe Mixon. Will Levis is obviously terrible. He can only throw super deep or into the ground or to the other team. The Titans are 9-23-2 against the spread since November 2022, and they are 2-8 against the spread in their division in that same span. Guys, give me the Texans here to get a blowout win and cover. I think they comfortably win this game by double digits the vast majority of the time. Next up, guys, we're looking at the Denver Broncos. They're going on the road to take on the Las Vegas Raiders in an AFC West showdown. The Broncos are flying high, guys. They're 6-5 on the season. They come into this game fresh off of that 38-6 win there against the Falcons. This is a team that's, like a couple weird breaks away from being, a couple wins better than they even are right now. It's been very interesting to see the development of this team. Bo Nix, especially, is coming off of a huge game. 4 passing touchdowns, 307 yards for him. He completed 28 of 33 passes. Like, just a lights out game from this young guy. Do we expect him to replicate that in this one? That seems like a really big ask to ask a rookie quarterback to, go back-to-back weeks looking so good. But this dude is taking over the Rookie of the Year race for sure. We saw great stuff there from the Denver running game last week. Bo Nix not even having to do too much with his legs. That's a great look. Cortland Sutton had a big game, catching 7 of his 8 targets. So, yeah, just very, very good things across the board here for a Denver team that didn't turn the ball over and were dominant there on defense. They only gave up 6 points to the Falcons. They just had Kirk Cousins all turned around. He was sacked 3 times in the loss, and they shut down the Atlanta running game. This was a dominant performance from a Denver team that's been very good this year on offense. Maybe not so much, but on defense, they are second in the NFL, giving up 16.6 points per game. So very, very good stuff from Denver. Love what we're seeing right now in terms of their injury report. Is looking very, very good as well, guys. They only have 1 guy questionable on the entire starting lineup for offense and defense. The offense is fully healthy. We do have Zach Allen there on the defensive line. He is questionable, so we don't know if he'll be ready to go, but other than that, this team is looking very, very good here as they go on the road to take on the Raiders, who are having one of those nightmare seasons, guys. They just lost 34-19 at the Miami Dolphins. They're 2-8 on the season. Like, the wheels really have come off here for this team and the franchise, and it's just looking very, very bleak. Gardner Minshew, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, sacked 3 times last week. He didn't fumble the ball away for once, so give him some props there, but he's a guy you always have to be very, very worried about anytime he has the ball in his hands, and he's the freaking quarterback, guys, so that's a problem. The running game couldn't get off the ground there against the Dolphins last week. Brock Bowers did have a huge game, catching 13 of his 16 targets for 126 yards and a touchdown, so that's nice. But other than that, we were not a lot of positives to find there for the Raiders. On defense, giving up 34 points, 3 passing touchdowns. They couldn't stop the run or the pass there against Miami. Over the course of the season, guys, they're 29th in the NFL, giving up 28.5 points per game. This team just not very good. They're banged up as well, guys. Alexander Mattison doubtful for this game there at running back. We've got a couple of offensive linemen on the list, including Andre James, their center. He might be out for this game. So, yeah, Minshew going to be in a little bit of trouble out there, if I would have to guess. In terms of their defense, they've got 2 guys out in the secondary. They've got 1 guy out there at linebacker. This Raiders team looking pretty unhealthy right now. So looking at the numbers, the Raiders are catching 6 points here at home. We've got an over under 41.5. Denver, they are 8-3 against the spread. They are 6-5 to the over. Las Vegas, 4-6 against the spread. They are 7-3 to the over themselves. Guys, I like over here quite a bit. Over 41.5. That's a pretty low total. I don't know how much we can really trust both of these offenses at this point, but I do think getting to 41.5 points is not beyond the realm of possibility. I think that's very solid value as a free pick in this game. Next on the slate, guys, we've got the San Francisco 49ers. They're going on the road to take on the Green Bay Packers. The 49ers come into this game 5-5 on the season. They're fresh off a 20-17 loss there against the Seahawks, and it has been a crazy, crazy week there for the 49ers, guys. The big news is Brock Purdy going to be out for this game. Yeah, we're gonna be seeing Brandon Allen, guys. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, Brock Purdy not able to play through that shoulder issue. He's a tough guy. I expect him to gut it out somehow, but apparently that's not going to be happening in this one. Being able to throw the ball as an NFL quarterback, a pretty important skill. He was practicing at different points, but not going to be out there in that loss they had against the 49ers. Purdy didn't look terrible. He didn't look great though. I mean, 21 of 28 looks good, but 1 touchdown, 1 interception, sacked a couple of times. McCaffrey finally got going. He had 79 yards there on 19 carries. Purdy ran the ball for a touchdown himself, but yeah, it just all ended up not being enough. That Geno Smith drive there at the end of the game got the job done. Juwan Jennings had a big day catching the ball. McCaffrey caught a few balls. Like, Deebo Samuel continues to not put up big numbers, and they really missed Kittle in that one. So, yeah, not a great day for the 49ers on offense. On defense, they did a good job of slowing down the run. They did a good job there against Geno Smith, just not quite enough there on that last drive, and they just didn't get enough out of their offense, to be honest. I mean, 4 sacks and interception, that should be a decent day. You give up only 20 points, you expect to win that game pretty often if you're the San Francisco 49ers. So we'll see if they can bounce back in this one. The injury report, obviously a big deal. Williams questionable there on the offensive line. He's dealing with an ankle issue, so we don't know if he's going to be playing. Brock Purdy obviously out. Brandon Allen there, he's going to be in, but yeah, we'll see how that goes. We've seen interesting things from the San Francisco 49ers team over the years, so we're going to be keeping an eye on this game for sure. On defense, they're going to be missing Nick Bosa. They're going to be missing Ward. He's going to be out for this one as well, so yeah, not going to be the full strength 49ers here. Just not the way it's going to be, guys. It's been a rough season there for the 49ers. They are going to have Kittle back though, and I think that is a pretty big deal as they go on the road here to take on the Green Bay Packers, who come to this game fresh off of a 20-19 win there at the Chicago Bears. A tough win at 7-3. Green Bay, they're down in 3rd place there in the NFC North. In that win over the Bears, we saw Jordan Love have a weird day, guys. They really limited how much they were letting him throw the ball. He still found a way to throw an interception, though. He was sacked once, 1 interception, 1 touchdown, 13 of 17 for 261 yards. Josh Jacobs, 18 carries for 76 yards and a touchdown. He had a good day. Love did run for a touchdown in that one, so that was something of a positive development. Christian Watson had a massive day, 150 receiving yards, caught all 4 of his receptions. He had a big 60-yard catch mixed in there, so that was cool to see. But on defense, guys, and just on offense in general, they only put up 20 points. Like, definitely a little bit of a struggle. On defense, they did a decent job of getting to Caleb Williams. 3 sacks, but they gave 231 passing yards. They couldn't stop the run at all, so that's a concern for this one for sure, especially against, definitely going to be a San Francisco team that's going to want to run the ball here while they're missing their best. They're missing their quarterback, going to be wanting to run the ball, and they've got McCaffrey back. So we'll see how that goes in terms of the strength of the Packers defense over the course of the season. 10th in the NFL, giving up 21.3 points per game. Looks pretty good. They're also looking healthy on offense for this game, but on defense, it's a different story, guys. They're going to be missing their middle linebacker. They're going to be missing and their starting corner. It's not the full strength Packers defense, guys, so we're worried about that. And looking at the weather for this game, always something you want to take into consideration up there in Green Bay. It's going to be around 44 degrees. There's an 11% chance of rain. We've got 7-mile-per-hour winds. So, yeah, nothing too crazy, but definitely not the most fun conditions to play football in. Looking at the numbers, we see the Packers are 5.5-point favorites. We've got an over-under of 44.5. San Francisco, 4-6 against the spread. They are 5-5 to the over-under. Green Bay, 4-6 against the spread. They are 5-4-1 to the under. Guys, I do like the under in this game. 44.5 seems very reasonable. I don't think we're going to see, any big numbers coming out of that Packers offense right now. It just doesn't feel like that. And the San Francisco defense, while a little bit banged up, is also pretty decent, and they're starting a backup quarterback. They're going to be wanting to run the ball. So give me a taste of the under, but I also like the 49ers and the points in this spot. I think McCaffrey's going to find a way to put up positive yardage. He is going to be the engine that helps this team go. We've got Kittle there. He's a good run blocker. He's also a very solid pass catching option for any starting quarterback. It doesn't matter if it's Purdy or not. So yeah, definitely give me a little look here at the 49ers and the points and that under. Will either one of those end up in the pinned comment? To be honest, guys, I would say they both have a chance. Next up, guys, we are looking at the Arizona Cardinals. They're going on the road here to take on the Seattle Seahawks. The Cardinals come into this game 6-4 on the season, winners of their last 4 in a row. It's not like they've beaten the toughest opponents, guys. Wins against the Chargers, Dolphins, Bears, and Jets don't have me super jazzed up, but those wins do have the Cardinals in first place right now in the NFC West. So very positive things. In that blowout 31-6 win, we did have the Cardinals in that one. So thank you, Kyler Murray and the Cardinals, for blowing out the Jets. Kyler Murray, 266 yards, completed 22 of 24 passes. So a very nice day from him. That one touchdown, only sacked once, 0 interceptions. He also ran for a couple of touchdowns, and we saw the Arizona running game really look good out there, guys. As a team, 32 carries, 147 yards, and Connor and Benson both looked very, very good. So excited with what we're seeing from Arizona on offense. I mean, Connor had a big receiving day too. Marvin Harrison Jr. caught all 5 of his targets for 54 yards and a touchdown. Things just looking very, very good, and they had 0 turnovers in that game as well. So loved what we saw from Arizona on offense. On defense, giving up only 6 points is obviously amazing. Doing that against the Jets, I mean, the Jets suck, so I'm not going to really overreact to that too much. Over the course of the season, the Arizona defense has been pretty good. 12th in the National Football League, giving up 22 points per game, but they've looked much better over the last couple of weeks, albeit against some incompetent opponents. So we'll see what they can do here going up against the Seahawks, who are 5-5 on the season, coming off of that 20-17 win there over the 49ers. So they've got to be pretty stoked about that, but definitely lots of work still to do. Geno Smith, kind of a pedestrian day, 221 yards through the air, 1 interception, sacked 4 times. He did run for a touchdown, so seeing Geno Smith take off kind of feels like a blast from the past. Kenneth Walker, the third, not a great day on his 14 carries, but he did find the end zone once. Jackson Smith Najigba, guys, crazy day from him. 10 receptions on 11 targets for 110 yards. So, yeah, big deal for him to have a good game. It was just barely enough to get by the banged-up 49ers, though. And in terms of their defense, giving up 17 points there, they didn't have any answers for the running game, which is a concern in this one for sure. They couldn't slow down Juwan Jennings, so definitely not a Seahawks defense that I'm very excited about. They've been one of the lower-rated defenses, in my opinion, this season, giving up a total of 23.8 points per game. Doesn't look that bad on paper, but guys, it has not been great. In terms of their injury report, Noah Fant there at tight end might be out for this game. On defense, they're healthy, but this has not been a defense that you can rely on. So looking at the numbers, we've got the Seahawks at home. This is basically a pick'em game. We've got an over-under of 47.5. Arizona, they are 7-3 against the spread. They are 5-4-1 to the under. Seattle, 3-6-1 against the spread. They are 5-5 to the over/under. No shocker here in Seattle, guys. We've got some rain going on. I would lean a little bit towards the under in this game. I don't think we're going to see a crazy amount of offense from either team. Nobody's going to be really firing it down the field in pouring rain there again in Seattle. It might not be pouring rain, but it's going to be raining. So give me a little bit of a look at that under. Last but not least here, guys, we've got the Philadelphia Eagles. They're going on the road to take on the Los Angeles Rams. The Eagles come into this game 8-2 on the season, having a great time right now. Winners of their last 6 in a row. They just took down the Commanders 26-18 last week, and Philadelphia is now alone there atop the NFC East. So big deal for the Eagles to get that win last week. We saw decent stuff from Jalen Hurts, 221 yards, only completed 18 of 28 passes. He was sacked a couple of times. There was talk of him, dealing with concussion, but apparently that's not a thing according to him. He's also dealt with like an ankle thing this week a little bit, but he's not on the injury report, so we'll see if he's fully healthy. The real motor behind this offense, guys, is Saquon Barkley. 26 carries, 146 yards, and 2 touchdowns last week. The dude is an absolute monster. I've got him on my fantasy team, and that has been really nice this year. So loving what we're seeing from Saquon. A.J. Brown didn't look great last week. Nobody really had a crazy day there in the passing game, except for Goddard maybe. He caught all of his targets for 61 yards. So some positives there. On defense, giving up only 18 points against the Commanders looks good, but the Commanders have been struggling lately. The Eagles sacked Jaden Daniels 3 times in that game, so that was pretty good. They did give up a little bit to the run. That's a bit of a concern. They also couldn't hold down Austin Eckler at all. They generated only that 1 turnover in the game. Over the course of the season, how do we feel about the Eagles defense? I mean, they're 6th in the NFL, giving up 17.9 points per game, but they haven't played the toughest schedule, especially lately. So we'll see what they can do in this game. They're going to have to really play some defense against those Rams wide receivers. Los Angeles comes into this game fresh off of a win of their own. They've actually won 4 out of their last 5. Their last time out was that road win at the Patriots. They took them down 28-22. Definitely liked what we saw from Stafford, guys. 4 passing touchdowns, 0 interceptions, sacked 0 times, passed for nearly 300 yards. Kyron Williams was getting his work in his 15 carries. He had 86 yards. We also like seeing Nakua and Cooper Kupp both out there is crazy, guys. They each caught over 100 yards. Kupp caught 2 touchdowns. Puka Nakua caught 1. Just crazy stuff out there from the Rams on offense. This is looking like a very scary passing attack. So they'll be hoping to carry that over into this one against the Eagles. So that could be a little bit tougher. But on defense, they gave up 22 points last week against the Patriots. That's not an amazing look. They struggled against the run a little bit, which is a concern. Obviously, you're about to take on Saquon Barkley. So, the Rams' defense over the course of the season, not great, giving up 23.9 points per game. And in terms of their injury report for this one, the offense almost fully healthy. We do see Haverstein going to be probably out there on the offensive line, but that's not guaranteed. They are healthy on defense, but like I said, guys, not a defense that I've been crazy about. The Rams, they're getting 3 points here playing at home. We've got an over-under of 49. The Eagles are 6-4 against the spread. They're 6-4 to the under. The Rams are 4-6 against the spread. They're 5-5 there to the over-under. Guys, we're going to be looking at the over-under for this game. We do have a premium play on this one over at Stump the Spread. Don't get mad at me. I just can't, give it out for free here, unfortunately. We do have that big, Black Friday sale, so if you're interested, maybe hop over there and check that out. But we're going to be leaning towards the under in this game. I think both teams are going to want to run the ball. I do worry a little bit about the Rams offense putting up big numbers, but the Eagles, they're going to be missing some important offensive weapons, guys. Devontae Smith, that's the one that they're going to be missing. So the passing game might not be as potent, but go ahead and give me the under in this game. I just think we're going to see offense be at a premium. That's all the games we have for today, guys. Hit that like button for good luck on all of your bets and subscribe to the channel if you're new. Make sure you head over to Stump the Spread and check out that Black Friday sale. Also, get on the email list. That's a big deal. That'll help you out a ton. Get those free picks straight to your inbox. We also, have some sports betting tools over there you might want to check out, just in terms of bankroll management, things like that. So get over there, check that out. Also, get down in the comments. Let me know any questions you have on today's slate. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. You guys can click the link in the description, like I was saying, to check out stumpthespread.com, and we will see you guys tomorrow for more sports betting action.